We've all heard it before. Put your best foot forward. If you want to make a great impression on new people, perhaps you're meeting your boyfriend or girlfriend's parents for the first time. Maybe you're walking into a job interview or starting that new job. Maybe it's jumping onto the sports field in a new team. Or perhaps it's meeting your kid's teacher at parent-teacher interviews. The age-old idiom, put your best foot forward, may spring to mind. Putting your best foot forward means stepping into the space with a cheerful disposition, to be accommodating, to be friendly, and of course, to put in your best effort. Put your best foot forward is to try your hardest, to exert maximum effort to show your best. The trouble I've discovered with trying to put my best foot forward, however, is it becomes really hard work, and not in a good sense. It's a constant effort stemming from a place of self-consciousness, which is quite different to self-awareness. Putting my best foot forward some days feels like I'm exerting more effort than I've actually got to give to maintain an image of how others perceive me. Perhaps the resources to do my best are just not on hand that day, and putting my best foot forward demands me to try anyway. Imagine how tiring it would be for somebody in a practical sense walking down the street, always trying to put their best foot forward. Think John Cleese in the Ministry of Silly Walks. To an observer, they'd look like they had some sort of a peculiar limp. They'd have to shuffle forward with each step, effectively dragging their weak leg behind them like a dead weight. The overemphasis on always creating a great impression, being positive or doing our best, which is really only our subjective measure of what it means to create a great impression or to do our best, it takes an enormous amount of self-conscious effort. We're continually concerned about what others may think of us, how we're being perceived and judged by other people, and eventually we may become entangled in a web of anxious thoughts, our imagination distracting our focus away from what really matters. When we stop to think about it, I imagine we all know what it feels like to be in the presence of somebody who is trying to put their best foot forward, who's aiming to make a great impression on us. They appear a little too perfect, and we subconsciously know they're dragging that not so perfect best foot behind them, just out of view. These people are often charming, but we can sense there's another agenda. There's a weak leg lurking in the shadows. Of course, spending a lot of time in the gym at the moment, playing Muay Thai, I couldn't help but contemplate what this saying means in a combat setting. In a combat setting, I think having your best foot forward would be to adopt, paradoxically actually, to put your weak leg forward in order to favour your best leg from behind. So for an orthodox fighter, to favour their right leg and their right arm, they'd stand with their left foot forward, and vice versa for a southpaw. And when we stand in our natural stance, which I'll say is our best foot forward, it favours the strongest side for striking and maintaining balance. And while most people develop a fairly strong style in their preferred stance, the ability to switch stance and fight southpaw for an orthodox fighter or vice versa demonstrates skill, mastery, and it opens up a whole new realm of possibilities. When somebody switches their stance in front of you when you're sparring, it says, I'm not afraid of my weak side, and I know how to use it. To the average athlete, if we want to learn to fight in the southpaw stance, if we're normally orthodox, it takes a lot of deliberate practice putting our weak foot forward. We have to step outside of our comfort zone, and by doing this, we risk a little vulnerability. We may discover hidden strengths though, like a killer switch kick or a right jab, outside of the gym. If we want balance and integrity in the way that we move through life, perhaps a better idiom than always to put your best foot forward could simply be to keep putting one foot in front of the other. The more comfortable we become with either foot forward, the more we develop balance and integrity, both within ourselves and with the people around us. Our horizons begin to broaden and develop when we're prepared to embrace the other foot, to put our weak foot forward and explore what that has to offer. And unless we want to walk through our whole life's journey with a limp, if we'd rather be natural and balanced and effortless in the way that we walk, perhaps putting one foot in front of the other without judgment. Rather than trying to hide our weakness, we walk with a calm sense of confidence and integrity that says to the world, this is me, this is all of me. And instead of being consumed with what others think about us, we can simply keep moving forward.